Vibes Show fans. Welcome to episode 6 of season 12 of the Good Vibes Show by me, Jerry Hilly, part of the Special Chronicles Network. Hope you have all been tuning in for season 12, episodes 1 for 5, which season 12 is themed around stimming. And I hope you folks have also caught up on seasons 1 through 11, where you can get them from, I'm going to say it right now, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts, or where YouTube podcast, YouTube Music, actually, I believe it's pronounced correctly, and wherever you get your podcast from, as well as my Road to 2022 Special USA Games Special Series, which is me talking about my train up to USA Games in Orlando, and the success behind it afterwards. So, I think a lot of people are wondering which stemming form I'm going to talk about today. So, and note you all, people, that all forms of stemming deserve appreciation and support, positive and uplifting vibes here, folks. So in episode 1 of this season, we've talked about stemming in general. We've talked about tapping in episode 2. Episode 3, we talked about rocking. Episode 4, pacing. Episode 5, the most recent one, humming. And today's episode is about grunting. And honestly, this is a perfect form to start off the midway mark of season 12, folks, because grunting, like this type of grunt, is a grunt that people can do. And I think about it, grunting is part of the human psyche, I guess, in this case. And for me, I do it very subconsciously. That I do this low audible grunt that sometimes I can't even hear, and it drives people nuts. Now, honestly, I think it's just a form of me just regulating myself. I think grunting in general is that. And I think folks don't understand that that's just part of the human mindset, that doing something to help self-regulate themselves, make themselves better. And it's just perfectly human to do it, folks. Like I said, stimming is perfectly human. And it's a common theme throughout this season that stimming is perfectly human. That with grunting in itself is embedded in human nature, as I'm going to say here. And I think we have to keep in mind that everyone can grunt like this, or this, or like that. Like, there are all these types of grunts people do. Like, obviously, I cannot replicate the one I do subconsciously because it's like something like that, but more lower or similar to that. And I think it's just that humming and grunting, like all these forms of stimming I'm talking about in this season so far, I've done in some ways and do things, and it's just that I do them because it's just part of who I am. And I think everyone does it. I think when we talk about forms of stemming, I think the ones that are audible, that some are doing with physical objects or saying, it can be bothersome to people. I think some people don't take the opportunity to understand the individual doing it. And I think there are a lot of people who took the opportunity to understand me doing it. I know my family gets driven nuts for me doing my low audible grunt at times. And I think it's just human nature that's part of who I am. And I think grunting is part of everyone. Honestly, we all do grunts. We all do like, ugh. That's more of a sigh, obviously, but it can end up something like a like that grunt. I think how we perceive ourselves is who we are, regardless of grunting, humming, tapping, pacing, rocking, or stemming in general, or in this case, itching your nose, which is actually just because I have an itchy nose right now, folks, so I do apologize. And we look at that in a way that I think some of us don't interpret psychology in a human mindset. I'm going to phrase this. I'm trying to phrase this as positive as I can. Is that everyone forgets that the human mind's a great thing, and stemming is just part of its nature, and that's what makes stemming such an amazing thing, and that's what makes stemming perfectly human. Thus, for grunting is perfectly human, though some people might not like it, honestly. But like I said, stemming is perfectly human. It's all part of the human mind, folks. So, to wrap up today's episode, here's our great sponsors that are from our sponsor, the Special Chronicles Network. The Good Vibes Show is proud to be featured on the Special Chronicles Network. Visit specialchronicles.com for links to follow on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Be sure to also subscribe to the newsletter and find the podcast page for this podcast, The Good Vibes Show by me, Jerry Hilly. If you love The Good Vibes Show, then you love the other podcasts on the Special Chronicles Network. Visit specialchronicles.com for links to subscribe to our podcast and newsletter, and to follow us on social media. Whoops, sorry there, Daniel. Gotta look up. But anyway, continue. And to support the podcast on Special Chronicles so we continue our mission of giving respect and voice to people with special talents and abilities. Visit specialchronicles.com/give to make a gift today. So, folks, I know I've talked about it before on Rebel, and there's actually officially the hashtag I've been using for most of the hashtag Stemming is perfectly human is now on Rebel. You can now for stuff design with that design ad. You can look up me on Rebel at Jerry M Holy. You can buy to your heart's content if you like or say things you like. So I highly recommend it. But remember to follow the Good Vibes Show on Instagram at Good Vibes by JH, Facebook.com/Good Vibes JH, YouTube.com/Good Vibes by JH. Also, subscribe to the Good Vibes Show by me, Jerry, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Guess what? I have over 1,300 listens, plays, I guess you can say. And I appreciate you all for tuning in for the show so much for that. I think as a form of self gratitude, like I know I thank you all for tuning in for the show. It's hard to believe that this show has been on the air for over 4 years, and it's hard to believe I've have over I think the last time I checked, almost close to 250 episodes. That's pretty darn impressive for a show that's like, to my standard, like relatively youngish, and it doesn't have a big following, as I know to people at least on the show. But like, I think it's perfectly to note that one, it's a right to be that, because then to me, like, I think I'm more meant to help the smaller my audience is, and I may not badly in this case, is I appreciate those who listen, because one, it means I'm making a difference in your life, and I think that's more important, making a difference in everyone's life, one person at a time. So, until next time, people, peace out. Boop, have a great week. See you next time for episode 7. Remember, stemming is perfectly human, folks. And until next time, I'll see you then. Bye, everyone.